And it is time for game number 6 in the series that hamburgersasu already won, but because they are playing every single matchup, we get a game number 6 because Kkangpae has not played Protoss vs Terran yet, whereas Sasu has, and maybe Kkangpae can redeem himself a little bit by winning this series, or maybe hamburgersasu just going to completely dominate him again, like he did in all games prior, except for one ZVT slip-up, where he was cutting corners. Yeah, so let's just see what's going on. Kkangpae is on the middle left spot, playing the orange Protoss, and hamburgersasu is playing the blue Terran on the top left corner, just right above him, so that already should give you an idea of what hamburgersasu's game plan can potentially be. I personally predict he's going to abuse the hills to get a push off on Kkangpae's minerals, and then just bam, kill his minerals, kill his nexus, control the game from using the hills. But it might also play it completely differently. You never quite know. There are a lot more options on fastest map than you might think in the first place. There's a lot of diversity, and how these players are going to use that, the options they have, we will just have to wait and see what is going to happen. So one thing I already noticed is that Kkangpae does not have a second pylon out just yet. He throws down the second pylon in any... Yeah, there's the second pylon. He could have gone for a nexus, but then he wouldn't have... He's going for the nexus now. So he does get the nexus, but he doesn't go for the pylon in his choke. hamburgersasu assumes there is a pylon in the choke, so maybe this is some really brilliant mind gaming from Kkangpae, because now Sasu thinks that Kkangpae is not on this spot, but he is. And I don't think hamburgersasu is going to try to scout it again. hamburgersasu is just scouting all the entrances. He's purely scouting for the pylon. He is 100% sure that Kkangpae is going for a pylon in his choke, so he can block his choke off with 2 cannons, but he's not doing that. So maybe he's mind gaming Sasu to such an extreme degree that might just redeem him from the set that he just played against Sasu. Although I honestly assume 99% of the players would have fared the same way against Sasu and lost most of those games. Alright, but this already gives away that Kkangpae is on one of the spots very close to Sasu, because there's a Zealot out. Zealot is hunting for Marines. Zealot now going to scout the entire base that Sasu has. Is he going to be able to walk in all the way because his Marines really don't deal enough damage? More Zealots are on the way. Now there's a pylon in the choke. Sasu is desperately trying to find where Kkangpae is located. You can see he scouted all the choke. Right, he sees the pylon. He knows where Kkangpae is. He's going to walk his Marine into the base. He's going to meet a cannon with that Marine. Fight is happening inside of the base of hamburgersasu. hamburgersasu's Marines microing away from the Zealot really well. Marine walked into the cannon. He micros it away while he's fighting inside his own base. He's now trying to focus down the probe. Zealot's moving out into the middle of the map, trying to intercept more Marines from coming out. He's going to try to keep Sasu from moving out, try to keep him boxed in. Actually, he's going for the attack, but hamburgersasu already has stim upgrade on the way. His medics out on the map. He's on 2 gate barracks, but he's handling this really well with really quick response, really quick reactions, and really good micro into Kkangpae, making it really hard for Kkangpae to be on the offensive. This SCV is still alive, still getting hamburgersasu information of what Kkangpae is up to. Kkangpae has got a cybernetic score on the way. He's got 2 cannons in his choke now, so he can defend himself more easily and keep Sasu out. Sasu, however, is still going for a very aggressive move. He's making a lot of fire bats to aid the Marines, and he's going to go for the sneak buy. I am sure he's going for a sneak buy. Otherwise, he wouldn't add those fire bats into the mix. He really wants to go aggressive. He's now adding 1 more barrack. He's got a factory on the way. He's got an engineering bay on the way. He sees the front. He sees the... He's going for the attack. He's going for the cannons. He's not gonna go for the walkway. He's just going for the cannons. He kills the cannons. Both cannons have gone down. Now Zealots are coming in from behind, but the Zealots are gonna be blocked a little bit by the medic. And the 3rd cannon comes down. The 3rd cannon goes down. And the pylon also goes down. Gateway is rendered unpowered. He's gonna take down the gateway too. But this gives Kkangpae time to get cannons up in his base. There's still a single fire bat alive. And Kkangpae is blocking access to his probes by putting his zealots in the way. So now these marines are going to take down these gateways that Kkangpae has. Kkangpae is going for the counterattack, going to force his marines up. Marines micro backwards a little bit. Marines going back and attacking. But the zealots attacking hamburgersasu's base. Hamburgersasu has no marines in his base. The marines that he had just died to these zealots. So now the pressure is being flipped back on him. But at the same time, he's putting pressure on Kkangpae's gateways. Kkangpae is losing his gateways. And he's going to have to produce new gateways here in the top. And the last just one gateway left. Four zealots now in the base of Sasu. But Sasu made some fire bats, and fire bats are stronger than zealots because they deal AoE damage against zealots, and zealots kind of get stacked up on each other. So the zealots go down, they don't deal too much damage. Sasu only on 22 SCV still, but his second command center has just finished. He's now very comfortably making marines. And Kkangpae is going for the counterattack with these 5 zealots, but he's unable to produce any more zealots. He has to wait for all these gateways to finish. He's got zealot lags on the way and weapons on the way for his ground units. So his force is being very functional. He's got a Templar's Arc on the way and a robotics facility on the way. He's still trying to put pressure on hamburgersasu, but hamburgersasu finished a vulture. And he's got siege mode on the way now and a tank in production too. He's got 5 barracks now, not producing from them though. And now he starts producing from him. He's got a starport on the way too. So this has already been a very exciting match, even though the game is only 6 minutes in. But I can already feel that this game is being dominated by hamburgersasu pretty hard. hamburgersasu has been the one calling all the shots, dealing all the real damage, and controlling the pace of the game. Forcing Kkangpae to stand on his hind foot and respond. Instead of what we usually see in Protoss versus Terran is the Protoss dominates the pace of the game. The Protoss calls the shots. But it all comes down to what will Kkangpae do now. He's got 10 gateways ready to produce units. He's producing a lot of units. He's producing Templars too. Storm upgrade is on the way. The Dragoon range is also on the way. Weapon upgrades for his ground forces have just finished within 5 seconds, so they're going to finish in the future. And he's got a robotic facility, a second robotic facility on the way. But he's not, yeah, he's making a shuttle now too. Just I was about to mention it, he's making a shuttle now too. There's no robotic support bay on the way, so we won't be seeing Reavers just yet. We won't be seeing shuttle speed just yet. Dragoons are being mixed in now. He's got Dragoons queued up in his gateways. Weapon upgrades for ground bio has just finished for hamburgersasu. He's got a science vessel on the way. He's making a covert ops add-on, so he's going for nukes. There's no other way. He has to be going for nukes. Right, he's got fire bats and a tank loaded up into this dropship. He's gonna try to get a shot up on those probes, either with the tank. Tank sieges up out of the range. The fire bats get focused. The tank gets shot up. He kills 6 probes there. That's a pretty decent pickup, 6 probes, and he also stops Kkangpae from mining for about 5 or 6 seconds. But all the probes that Kkangpae has have to re-queue. And it takes a little bit of time for the probes to re-queue on the mineral patch. It takes a little bit of time for all of them to start mining again. So that's a nice pickup for Sasu. Slows Kkangpae down a little bit, still calling all the shots. Now there are Templars being loaded up, and they're going to be dropped on the hill there, but only a single Templar gets out. He gets a storm up on some Marines, but those Marines didn't really pose much of a threat. The real threat is these fire bats in the bunkers, and the bunkers are... Actually, there's so many zealots out here that these zealots are taking a lot of damage from the fire bats though. But the zealots are taking down the bunkers. Dragoons coming in. There's a tank in the back there. All the zealots have gone down to the stiff Marines behind the bunkers, and now the Dragoons are going to go down too. And hamburgersasu effortlessly survives the frontal attack from Kkangpae. Kkangpae did take down a couple of depots and a couple of bunkers and the units inside those bunkers. But hamburgersasu loses way less units than Kkangpae invested in that attack. This is a win situation for hamburgersasu. hamburgersasu is now again going for another tank drop. No, he's not going for a tank drop. He loads up the tanks on top of the hill, makes it easier for himself to defend. Kkangpae is now trying to deny hamburgersasu from getting a wall up, but Kkangpae forced to pull back. Sasu simply has too many units defending his front, and he effortlessly defends himself. He did just have to make a new depot there though, but he's got a nuke on the way. Ghosts have finished. He's got cloak finished? I'm not too sure. Right, so units dropping here over the hill for Kkangpae, taking down the turret. hamburgersasu going to get there on the south side of his base, making it easier for him to fly his future shuttles in. He's gonna take down the SCVs too. No, he ignores the last SCV, so a single SCV here will still be able to make new turrets. There is the Ghost. The Ghost is being loaded up, being hotkeyed. And he's got EMP upgraded too. He's gonna unload those Ghosts there. He's gonna wait for the nuke. The nuke has finished. Right, so he's gonna walk in. He's gonna look for an opening, but there is no opening in the base of Kkangpae. Kkangpae knows that those Ghosts are there. And he's gonna... maybe he doesn't know that the Ghosts are there. Right, so the first nuke is coming up. The first nuke is gonna clear out this little bit of tech and cannons there. And one Ghost has gone down to a storm. He doesn't know where the second Ghost is. This nuke is definitely going to happen. The nuke comes flying in. The nuke comes down on the cannons. And the cannons... BAM! Cannons have died. Only 2 cannons have died. And he takes down the last cannon with it. He takes down the robotic facility with a great... He dodges the storm too. So not only does he take down the robotic facility with his Ghost, he's going to take down the second robotic facility too. But now he gets a storm off on the Ghost. Ghost goes down. Dropship gets chased away back into hamburgersasu's base, and another nuke. So he already unloaded as another Ghost over the hill, and this time he doesn't know where the Ghost is. Or he gives away the position with the... wait, he keeps it alive, and he doesn't get the EMP off though, but he does kill all the probes that Kkangpae has. Kkangpae thought he could kill the Ghost with the storm, but the Ghost survives thanks to the defensive matrix. This is like... hamburgersasu is just styling and toying with Kkangpae, showing off that he's just so many times better than his opponent. And he completely fucks Kkangpae over. There's no way for Kkangpae to come back. The only thing that's gonna happen is hamburgersasu is going to toy with him a little bit more. He's got another nuke in production. He's got another nuke in production there. Another nuke also in production. He's got 2 nukes on the way. He's gonna make a comsat station there because he doesn't need a scan. He's just gonna fly over more Ghosts and just keep nuking. And Kkangpae, well, Kkangpae has an observer out now, so he can now defend himself against the Ghosts. So no more nukes for hamburgersasu, unless Kkangpae responds way too slowly or makes a mistake. Well, so a drop is gonna come flying in. He's got 4 shuttles. Force are in the mix too. Marines are being stinned back to the main CC, but he is focusing he focuses the shuttles with stimmed Marines. He gets a storm up on the Marines, and the Templars don't get in range of the minerals, so the minerals of hamburgersasu are pretty safe. His income has been secured at the cost of some of the lives of those Marines, but the Marines are happily giving their lives to save those civilian workers. It's clearing out the hills here. Those hills are a very threatening battle station for hamburgersasu. Kkangpae very slowly hammering away, but Marines come stimming in, take down the Zealot. More drops come flying in, but the shuttles just immediately die to the stim fire from the Marines. That's a really good reaction and focus from hamburgersasu, not giving Kkangpae any room whatsoever at any stage in the game. He's just so confident in himself that he can just toy with him and just deny Kkangpae. I mean, Kkangpae is not a bad player. Definitely not. He's not a bad player. hamburgersasu is just showing him all of his weaknesses. He's exposing him in every single imaginable way. hamburgersasu is just giving a clinic. So another shuttle comes flying in, but this shuttle's not gonna come far. Just dropping it to do some damage to these Marines over the hill, but these Marines just take it down without much effort. And there's tanks firing on the Zealots too. Kkangpae is on 39 probes now, 2 more probes about to finish for 41. 91 SCVs for hamburgersasu. hamburgersasu is so far ahead, he's just so comfortably building his base. There's no pressure on the guy. 0 pressure. And he's loading up tanks on the hill, taking down a single Zealot that's on the hill there. And just getting control, zoning Kkangpae's units away from that portion of the hill. He's Got more tanks to unload, but they don't always want to unload. As you can see there, he's trying to unload them, but he's failing to unload them. That's a little bit unfortunate. He's gonna just try again. He's got raids in the mix too. Raids are really good against shuttles. Kkangpae is trying to expo, but he has no minerals to expo. I just had to drink some water. Right, so yeah, the game has really decelerated. Hamburgersasu is not trying to kill him. Hamburgersasu is just taking it really slow, giving Kkangpae all the time he needs to rebuild. Either he's doing it on purpose, saying, "Ah, sure, rebuild. I'm gonna kill you anyway." I mean, that's the thought process that Hamburgersasu would have in a situation like this, because he's really arrogant and confident in his own ability. He'd gladly give you the opportunity to rebuild and then kill you anyway once you rebuild. So 2 more ghosts have been dropped, 2 nukes are ready to be fired. He killed the cannons and he's walking his ghosts into the range of the cannon. He moves them out of the range, but Kkangpae knows exactly where those 2 ghosts are though. And the observer comes in, kills both ghosts, so the nuke gets denied. He has to make 2 more nukes. He's just gonna sit in his base and go for nukes, basically. That's what I assume he's doing. He's not even trying to be offensive. He's just... I mean, he's trying to be offensive, but he's not trying to be aggressive. He's just very slowly building his base. He's got a lot of minerals. He's got a lot of units. But he wants to end this with a nuke. That's the vow he made to himself. That's the goal he set himself. He wants to end with a nuke. Now a drop comes flying in, flies over the hill. It doesn't meet much resistance. Oh, actually, yeah, he does meet some resistance. He gets locked down by those ghosts. So that's a really nice pickup from Hamburgersasu, denying Kkangpae the drop on the minerals by just locking them down. Even though the response was a little bit late. I mean, the response was in time, but also a little bit late. Manages to pull it off just in time, and secures himself a little bit more time, just happily sit in his base and give Kkangpae all the time he needs to rebuild. And this is all intentional. He's intentionally letting Kkangpae rebuild. He's getting upgrades, getting battle cruisers too. So he killed his covered ops, stopped going for nukes, and he's just going for battle cruisers now. He lifts up all of his barracks, flows them to the side, get fission. And because he doesn't need that, he needs room in his base to build more factories or whatever he's planning on building. So battle cruisers are on the way. This is the first time you'll be seeing battle cruisers in a TVP ever. And he kills his own SCVs because he's got 14,000 minerals, so he can produce a lot more battle cruisers. He puts 2 SCVs back on the minerals. Yeah, now he's repairing his CC. He's got a single SCV mining minerals. So he's unloading some dropships over the hill, tanks over the hill. Kkangpae is responding by dropping zealots over the hill to clear out those turrets that he has there to make it easier for himself to drop. Kkangpae, in response to that, also sees these battlecruisers finishing. So now Kkangpae knows that battlecruisers are out. He knows that Hamburgersasu is just being very BM. Hamburgersasu is now killing his entire front because he wants to get rid of those marines. Or he just wants an opening. Yeah, he's gonna send those marines into their untimely deaths. Gonna kill them all. Storms being thrown down on the hill. Hamburgersasu just lost control over that hill. Lost his turrets behind the hill too. And he has no minerals. And this might actually backfire. I mean, I can see Kkangpae winning this game at this point. Hamburgersasu has a huge mass. He's got a lot of battlecruisers on the way. Yamato cannon on the way too. Kkangpae's Nexus lost some HP. It's 450 HP lower than where it should be. It's at least 650 HP lower than where it should be. So he can just fly in and throw down some Yamato cannons on that Nexus and take away most of Kkangpae's income. But Kkangpae is preparing for it. Kkangpae knows what Sasu is up to. Kkangpae realizes that Sasu killed his own choke, so he's now going for a frontal attack just to keep Sasu busy. Sasu's minerals are very, very slowly going down. Already lost 4,000 minerals since the time that he killed his own SCVs. Oh, now he's going for the frontal attack. He's unloading tanks on the low ground. His battlecruisers are hovering over the tanks as mental and moral support. Also, in order to keep them alive, shuttles that have been loaded up with units are dropping on top of the tanks. Tanks are going to die to the zealots on the low ground. The tanks on the high ground are helping the zealots by taking down their own tanks. But these battlecruisers are now taking down the zealots. Zealots are unable to attack carriers. But attack is happening inside of hamburgersasu's base. He just walked in all the way because there are no units in hamburgersasu's base, and now he's directly attacking the SCVs inside of hamburgersasu's base. But little does Kkangpae know that hamburgersasu already killed his own SCVs. He's like 10 steps ahead of you. You're trying to kill my SCVs? Well, I already killed them myself. So Kkangpae loses his zealots. He does kill about 11 SCVs in the process, but that ended up backfiring for him because he could have decided to attack the factories or the starports for that fact. But yeah, that's just a very weird thing that just happened to work out in hamburgersasu's favor. Though hamburgersasu is now back on 3,000 minerals, he has to start producing SCVs again, and he hasn't gotten much results since he killed his own SCVs. And Dark Templars in the front of hamburgersasu's base. Kkangpae's Dark Templars go down to the scan very quickly. As the scan reveals them and the siege tanks take them down, he's loading up more dropships, going to fly them over the hill, drop them on the low ground, and under the support of the battle cruisers, dark carriers. There's no dark carriers. Right, so the fight is starting again. Units coming in, going to surround the tanks on the low ground. A couple of zealots coming in on the tanks, but the battle cruisers taking down the zealots at a time to take down the cannons on the low ground. But the cannons on the low ground, the tanks on the low ground are now going to go down to the zealots that are coming in, and that's all because of the support of the tanks on the high ground that are taking down the tanks on the low ground. But all the units on the low ground that Kkangpae had have been taken down. These battle cruisers are now hammering away at the cannons, and they're now pulling back to support the tanks that are being dropped on the low ground. A frontal attack is happening too, but these units in the front won't be able to do much damage. There are so many Goliaths in the front of hamburgersasu's base. There are tanks there too. Hamburgersasu has put a lot. He's got 30 SCVs mining in his base, some of which are not even doing anything, so he's still in that full-on hardcore BM mode. He's got a vessel there to protect Dark Templars, and very slowly he's inching closer forward. He took down the Nexus. I completely missed that he took down the Nexus because I was focused on the front there, but he took down the Nexus with the Yamato cannons. He threw down the BM. More of this on the way, and now he's just chasing down whatever Kkangpae has in his base, going to focus on those cannons. The battle cruisers really have no issues taking down cannons with all those upgrades, and the cannons don't really do much damage because the carriers are just so beefy with upgrades. He's on 2-2 upgrades. That's a lot of damage reduction, a lot of added damage. Now he's just hovering them in the back, hovering them over the tech that Kkangpae has. Now tanks come flying in with the drops he's going to take with all the probes that he did have. He throws down a Yamato cannon on the Nexus, and the tanks siege up, tanks firing on the probe, the tanks firing on the extra Nexus. So he's going, instead of going for the probe, he's going for the Nexus. He's going to completely deny Kkangpae's income. Now Kkangpae has no Nexus and immediately leaves the game. It's called a GG. Hamburgersasu wins with ease. And he calls the GG for Kkangpae. Kkangpae doesn't even call it GG himself. Hamburgersasu just goes full BM and wins the series that he already won. But now it's 5-1. And he just completely styled on Kkangpae and made Kkangpae look bad. Which is very hard, I assume, because Kkangpae did seem pretty good, in my honest opinion. He did seem like a good player. But Kkangpae just made him look bad. That's really, really embarrassing. I mean, this game was one big embarrassment for Kkangpae. Kkangpae just got styled on in every single way imaginable. Nukes, battle cruisers. Nobody ever goes battle cruisers against Protoss because they kind of suck against Protoss, but he goes for it. Hamburgersasu kills his own workers. Why would you kill your own workers? Well, to style and BM your opponent. Yeah, really a bit of an unconventional game. A little bit of an unconventional series to begin with. But kind of fun to watch. Yeah, thanks for watching this BM kind of series from Hamburgersasu against Kkangpae. I hope you enjoyed the mix-up in playstyles, the mix-up in content even, because this is like shit you'll never see again. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.